it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you're new here. I hope you guys stay. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a paranormal story time where I'm going to be telling you guys about this invisible friend I had who may not have been an invisible friend after all. So if you guys want to hear this story, make sure you guys keep watching this video. Also on Friday, I'm going to be posting a video telling some of your guys' scariest paranormal ghost stories. So if you guys want to be featured in that video and want me to tell your terrifying ghost story, follow me on Instagram at brookeelardo official and DM me some of your scariest stories of all time, and I will be sharing them in Friday's video. Alright, and of course before we start, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and leave this video a thumbs up, and we are going to get right into this paranormal story time. So growing up, me and my twin sister Brandy had a ton of imaginary friends. We loved going in my backyard and playing these crazy games and making up these imaginary friends that we were playing with and hanging out with. Most of them were mermaids or princesses or some sort of superheroes with superpowers, and they were all pretty much magical. And as most people do, when you're playing with your imaginary / invisible friends, you kind of see them when you want to see them, and they're there when you want them to be there, and when you don't want them to be there, they're not there. So practically how it goes when you have imaginary friends, and how it went for me and my sister, is whenever we would like go outside and play and wanted our imaginary friends to play with us, they would appear, and when we didn't want them there, they weren't there because they're imaginary. You're making them up. They're never just there when you don't want them to be there. And that was true for practically all of my imaginary friends except for one. One of my imaginary friends was not a princess. She wasn't a mermaid, she didn't have any magical powers, she was just a normal girl. And unlike all my other imaginary friends, she would kind of appear whenever she wanted to appear. Her name was Amanda. She had long black hair and kind of looked like me, I guess, in a way, or my sister, and I never really played with her. She was never a part of the games me and my sister played, and I don't remember my sister ever talking to her. She kind of only talked to me. At the time, I was probably 5 or 6 years old, so I did have a wild imagination, but looking back, something about her didn't feel imaginary. One day when I was very little, she told me that she used to live next door to me. She told me that when she was 3 years old, she was riding on this little Jeep car thing that was pink, and she was riding around her yard. And as some of you may know, I live on the water, so she was riding around on this little pink motor Jeep car thing, and her parents weren't watching her, and she drove it into the canal and drowned. Now before my neighbors who live there now moved in, there was this old man who lived in the house next door to me, and it used to be this pink creepy house with this really creepy shed in the backyard. There was this weird dent going into the canal where it seemed like anybody could easily just fall in, and this old man never ever left the house. And my imaginary friend Amanda said that that used to be her house. Now I tried to look up online and find out who used to live next door to me and if this was true or if this was a part of my imagination or what was going on, and I didn't find anything. But she told me that it was because of her and her accident of drowning in the canal that my parents wouldn't let me go past my tree in my backyard so I wouldn't fall in the canal, which was true. My parents used to not let me go past the tree, and she was just saying that this was because of her. Now I used to have this really weird tiny basement door thing. I don't have a basement in my house, but it was like a little tiny door to get under my house. There were just like a bunch of wires under the house, and it was just a way for like people to get under the house if they needed to, if like, I don't know, power went out, or I don't even think it had to do with the power, but it was just wires. And it was a really creepy place, and my parents never used to let me and my sister near there or in there. And she told me that at night she slept in there. When I was very young, I would see her dancing on my roof all the time, and recently it made me think of when my mom was telling me a story about how when me and my sister were like 1 or 2 years old, we would always like be looking at the roof and being like, look, like pointing to my roof as if someone were up there dancing. My mom used to always be like, I swear you guys were seeing spirits dancing on the roof. And when I was 5 or 6 years old, I remembered this imaginary friend always being on my roof and dancing and kind of like being daredevilish. And then there was this one morning where I woke up, and I will never forget this. I woke up in the morning, it was probably 9 in the morning, and I looked outside my bedroom window, and I had a big tree outside my bedroom window. And I look outside this bedroom window, and the girl Amanda is hanging upside down from her legs, playfully swinging from the tree branches. For a split second when I woke up and saw her swinging there, I thought it was my sister. Because again, she had long black hair just like my sister, she had black bangs, she had paler skin, so she's just swinging from this tree branch, and I literally thought it was my sister, and I screamed because I got so scared. And all my childhood up until that point, I thought she was an imaginary friend, until I realized I was seeing her without wanting to be able to see her. And then recently, something made me think of this imaginary friend and how she was kind of just like this normal girl, and she was telling me she died by my house and stuff, and I finally put 2 and 2 together. If you guys didn't see one of my old story times, I talk about my house being haunted. I will link that video in the description below, but there is one part in that video where I talk about my mom walking through my house, and there was this old mirror in my house that was facing opposite the steps, so it was reflecting the steps. And one day my mom was walking through my house, and she looked in the mirror and saw a little girl with long black hair and pale skin and bangs sitting on the steps, and she thought it was my sister. And me and my sister had school, so she turns over her shoulder and she sees that no one is there. And my mom said that that mirror, since day one of it being in my house, gave her the heebie-jeebies. And after she looked in that mirror and saw a little girl sitting on my steps and it wasn't my sister, she decided to take the mirror and get rid of it because she just felt really negative vibes from it, like she felt it was a haunted thing. And I thought back to that, and I finally put 2 and 2 together. That little girl, Amanda, was not an imaginary friend. She was a ghost. The reason why I think this is because I would only see her when she wanted me to see her. She wouldn't come out and play with me and my sister. Like, she wouldn't be a part of a game. She wasn't like a magical figure or creature. She would just randomly appear places and randomly tell me these weird, creepy stories. And I would tell these stories to my friends because it was just so creepy. And after thinking about it, I realized my mom also saw this exact same girl who I saw swinging from my tree branches outside my window. And as soon as my mom got rid of that creepy mirror, Amanda disappeared. I think that that mirror brought Amanda into my house, and that she was this creepy, evil ghost devil girl. Or I don't know if she was evil, maybe she was a friendly ghost, but she was creepy, and I think she was haunting me and my family. But yeah, so that is my story about my invisible friend not actually being an invisible friend, but a ghost. If you guys liked this video, make sure you leave it a thumbs up, and also make sure you guys subscribe down below. I post every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Have yourselves a very happy Monday. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Also, please, again, don't forget to share your scary stories with me on Instagram. Slide into my DMs and tell me your guys' scary stories so I can share them with all of you guys. It's gonna be a really fun and creepy video, and I'm really excited for it. Alrighty, bye.